We got Walker Hayes joining us on Pure Country. And did you plan this beautiful country camo backdrop just for us
Ah,
today?
I was looking around this hotel room and I was like, what is a suitable place to do these Zooms? And I love this backdrop. So
I know, it's cool.
it is nice and country. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have a lot to catch up on. Last time I
Let's
talked
go.
to you, Fancy Like had just obviously gone number one, and we talked about how you got to do something really cool when Fancy Like went number one, is buy a tour bus that your family could,
Yeah.
finally go out on the road with you. So now that you've done some touring with the whole fam jam on the road, what's that been like?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I try to be sensitive to people who are working to get somewhere, or to a place they can. But that is one thing about this journey for me that is all that it's cracked up to be, is being able to have my family out. I mean, I truly have to taper my excitement because not everyone can, and that is a huge blessing and advantage that my team and I, were able to earn. It took us a long time. Everybody listening, this is I've been out. I started doing this in 2004. So we're almost 20 years into this career, and my family has been out with me for, I'd say, 6 months now, and it is life changing. I mean, we do every. I mean, I see my family 7 days a week now.
Oh,
And it just, as a father who really dreaded, that was my least favorite thing about my job was, hey, I had to go. I had to
right.
leave from Wednesday night to Sunday. And when you got kids, those are important days. If they
Yeah.
play sports, I didn't ever see games. I only saw practices. I mean, I literally didn't see my son play football one season, and I rooted for him. I watched online, thank God for technology, but having the family out at first, it was very daunting because I thought, it's not glamorous. They
Right.
may not like it. And if they don't, hey, it's not for our family, but I had to try it.
Yeah.
And boy, I mean, my wife loves it. I've heard my kids on several occasions say, man, the road is so much more fun than home. And what's crazy is it's not easier
Yeah.
at all. I mean, we pack up. It's so much packing. We have two dogs. We
Yeah.
unload. I feel like we're doing laundry for 2 days, and then we do it again. But it's such a great energy out there. I'm never alone. I mean, it takes my mind off of myself. Like I'll be playing a game of Jenga and then walk on stage and then
Right.
walk off, and it's a pizza party. It's I don't have a lot of time to sit around alone and go, "Oh, I hope they like me tonight," or I hope I perform well, or I'm nervous, or I just I just got to get up and do it. And it's a very comfortable environment for all of us. So thanks for asking. That is that's my favorite thing about what we're doing right now.
I can tell. And when I talked to you, my son was 7 months old and he's now 18 months old. And we're trying to figure out
Yeah,
if he should go to school. And both my husband and I are like, we don't want him to go anywhere. So we're going to figure out how
yeah,
to keep him home as much as possible. And every time we go to like pack up for a
yeah.
weekend trip and complain because we've got two dogs and our son, I say to my husband, I'm like, Walker is taking his whole family out on the road. We can do this.
There's, even with one, it's not easy, but again, I'm with you. If my kids went to school, that my kids are homeschooled. So
Yeah.
if they went to school and I traveled, I would never see them
Right.
ever. I would get home and we would see each other at night, and
Yeah.
that's it. And, I only have them. I mean, shoot, my oldest is 16, she's going to be gone,
Ugh.
in a couple years. So, I don't know, it's a beautiful thing that we get them while we do. And again, this experience, man, I mean, we're making memories that we'll all have till we leave this earth. I mean, we will remember the year that this song popped off and then we got to travel the country.
Oh, no kidding. I apologize if you can hear my son screaming in the background, but
I love it.
I have to ask because I got to actually talk to MacKenzie. She's a good friend of mine, MacKenzie Porter. And I remember she was in like the middle of the Fancy Like tour, and her and I had a girls' night. And I was like, what has it been like? And she was like, Shannon, this has been the most incredible experience. She's like, Walker's
Oh,
family is just, as good as it gets. And she's in love with your kiddos as much as they are with her. What was it like having MacKenzie out? Because it looked like your family just kind of embraced her into yours.
we did. We like adopted Mackenzie and her band, and it was sad. That first weekend after that tour ended, it was really sad. My daughters just looked up to her. That's we all we've listened to for the past tour is Mackenzie. Like, I know every single song on all of her albums because my kids, they're like the DJs in the house, and so they fell in love with Mackenzie. Not only her music, but just her as a person and her band. But the energy backstage, it was pretty tough to describe. It just was so comfortable,
Mhm.
and just every day the faces we see, and it just felt like a big family. I mean, my wife loved Mackenzie. My wife loved their band. Just seeing Chris and her band, my kids would braid his hair. It's like it was just such a beautiful atmosphere because the road can get kind of dark,
Yeah.
and lonely. And the kids bring so much sunshine into these venues, and there's the dogs running around, and it's just a different atmosphere having them out. But Mackenzie is family as far as I'm concerned, and I'm honestly just looking for. I'm going to bite at the first opportunity I ever have to take her out, or who knows? I'm probably be opening for her one day because she's a friggin' freak. I mean, she's so good,
So
and
good.
she's got a bright future ahead of
I'm
her.
gonna I'm gonna put in a request that maybe you guys do like a Fancy Like 2.0 tour and bring it and just go across Canada. I think that
Let's go. I think that's a great idea. I mean, I love playing up there, and you guys just have a sincere passion, for what we all do, and we're so grateful for that. But yeah, that's actually a great idea. We should do a little
I'm like,
Fancy Like Canada tour.
I will be there. I have to ask because I'm so excited. I've ordered my book. I haven't received it yet, but I'm really, really pumped to
Yeah.
read it. What has that journey been like for you to, it's still obviously incorporates your musical story and everything like that, but to have a book out that people are now reading and not just listening to their music, they're actually getting to read your words.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. The book is really vulnerable. And so when we were writing it, I couldn't have sold that many books. I mean, I just didn't have that big of a career,
Mm-hmm.
when we started. And then Fancy Like Puff when we were about at chapter 5. And now, honestly, when the book came out, I was a little bit frightened. I was like, man, this has a lot of details about a lot of my flaws and my weaknesses and my struggles, and things that you don't just upon meeting someone for the first time, you just don't throw out on the table, and but honestly, just I'm at peace with what it says, and I truly just feel like God is using me, just such an ordinary to him. I mean, that's just what's happening with the reactions I've been receiving. And I'm not an author by any means. I mean, I'm the least studied human on earth. I don't even read myself. It puts me to sleep. And so I am truly kind of standing back is with my co-author friend Craig, and we are just baffled. We can't believe that we put out a book that someone is buying. You know what I mean? It's just
Mm-hmm.
we've seen it on shelves, and it's like it's kind of surreal. It's just like, what? We wrote a book. I'm looking at my testimony, going, man, I didn't even believe in Jesus years ago. And then now I'm sharing my testimony, like, wow, God is amazing. You know,
Yeah.
he's crazy fun and incredible. It's just it's like a modern day Bible story. And so I'm just humbled that I get to be used with my best friend. And that's one of my favorite things going on in my career right now, is that Craig and I have the opportunity to really speak to people and share what the Lord has done in our life.
Oh, so cool. I cannot wait to read it. I will definitely post about how awesome it is and get everyone on Pure Country to order
Yeah,
yours too.
I hope you enjoy it.
Last thing I just want to ask, because I feel like your story is just such an incredible one. And I've been following since the very beginning. I've been listening since you started releasing music. And I know you talk about this long journey you've been on, and there's been a lot of ups and downs and peaks and valleys, but what has been the one thing that continuously just keeps pushing you through and makes you go, this is why I'm doing this?
You know, I am a when I fall in love, you know, with something, I think my manager, you know, my wife, people who are very dear to me, it's almost frightening when I fall in love with something, because I won't stop, you know, even if it doesn't make sense, and even if I wish I could, you know, it's almost like um, the writing and music, the calling that I hear to do it just won't be quiet, you know, and it's frustrated me at times,
Right.
and I've also had Lainey, you know, right there, just so joyful in some really dark times, you know, when I didn't really believe in myself, and but she never, you know, she never questioned, hey, you're not making sense, or hey, you should try it 2 more years and then stop, you know. But that's just kind of what happened to me when I wrote a song, you know. I wish, I love people's dreams, you know. I'm like, hey, don't tell me your dream, or I will not leave you alone about it, you know. I think not enough people take those chances, you know, and leave security for a dream. But we did, Lainey and I did together, and it's the grace of God that we stuck around, you know, long enough to get here where we are. And who knows, you know, what tomorrow will hold. But you know, we'll be here together, trying.
Well, we are so glad that you kept with it and that you had Lainey by your side to push through. And I can't wait. I love the music that's out right now, but I can't wait for more Walker Hayes new music to come. I'm assuming it's going to come at some point.
Oh yeah.
But your Canadian fans love you, and thank you, Walker Hayes, for joining us on Pure Country.